I bought this Halloween hairband last year and I didn't get to wear it in a video, so I figured since this latest episode was during Halloween, it was an excuse for me to do it. I do realize it's February, and I do realize I look incredibly stupid. Okay, let's have a moment of honesty between us. I am a DC fangirl. I love DC. I've complained quite a bit about the MCU. So, this series is just... it's like rubbing salt in the wound. It's so fucking good! And this episode just blew me away like the others. Fuck. I know they kept saying that the WandaVision, all their Disney Plus live-action MCU shows in general were going to be movie quality. I guess I just didn't quite believe them. And now seeing so many episodes in this series, I'm not worried for anything on Disney Plus. I guess I shouldn't have been worried given how well they did with The Mandalorian, but still. This is so crazy good, and I am infinitely more excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming in March now. This episode actually has me reconsidering some theories I have. I still absolutely believe the cosmic radiation is going to spill out and create mutants. We even got a hint of that, where Darcy's like, hey, it's actually messing with your DNA. Probably shouldn't go back in there. It's gonna mess you up. I'm insanely excited for mutants. I cannot wait to see who they cast for certain characters, such as Wolverine. I think that's going to be the hardest thing to cast because everyone views Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Come on. Get a short guy to play Wolverine. Short people need more representation. I guess. I'm a little bit suspicious of Pietro. Aren't you guys? I feel like he was fishing to see how much Wanda knew of what was going on. I don't think he was innocent, just being like, oh yeah, tell me how this happened. I think it was more of he's like, okay, is she figuring this out? Is she figuring out someone is manipulating her? Because again, she said, I don't know how I did this. I don't know how it all began. I just remember this just endless loneliness. And I honestly think some extra dimensional being or some cosmic being, I know everyone wants to say Mephisto, the devil, ended up just exaggerating or playing on her trauma and twisting it. Which you gotta think is a little bit ironic because Wanda's power is manipulating and she used to fuck with people's heads and now someone is fucking with her head. So it's kind of like turnabout is fair play, you know? It also seemed like Pietro was trying to side with her and be like, hey, no, this is totally ethical. You're doing this in the best way possible. Don't listen to your once dead husband. He's just a fuddy-duddy. So I don't think everything's as it seems with Quicksilver. I'm really happy that the boys got their powers. I think that was really cool. Actually, in general, I loved Quicksilver. I think they took the best aspects from the Fox version and moved it over to the MCU. Vision trying to escape the Hex was absolutely horrifying, and seeing him ripped apart, it has me concerned that it's not going to be like the other things, like the rope that came in and became a jump rope and stayed that way on the outside. Maybe Vision can't actually survive outside the Hex, which means maybe Quicksilver can't either. People that are dead before she put them in there stay dead. Which is maybe why Agnes said, you can do that. Speaking of Agnes, I'm really confused now because I thought she was more aware, but it showed in there that she wasn't. Although she took a wrong turn and was getting to the end, so maybe she just has these moments of clarity and then before she can completely escape, she goes back into it. I like that she was dressed as a witch though. Wink wink, hint hint, MCU. Why am I excited to see Darcy inside the Hex? I want to see how she's changed. I think it's going to be absolutely great. Also, seeing all the soldiers and sword being changed to the reality inside the Hex was so cool to see. I loved it. The sword director is really getting on my nerves. I think he's probably getting on everyone else's nerves as well, and I can't wait to see him die at the end of the season. I don't know if he's going to, but I think he's going to. Rambo and Wu is the team up I absolutely love, and I'm excited to see what they're planning on doing and getting back in there, and also how it might alter Rambo finally to give her her powers that she has in the comics. Although I kind of think she already has them. Or maybe her going in one more time is just the final thing that, does it. It's kind of like when things become cancer. It's just not an all of a sudden. A lot of times it takes a couple mutations and then boom, you got it. You could have gotten a couple of the hits when you were a teenager, and then maybe in your 20s, and then you're in your 50s, and boom! You got the final one, and now you got cancer. Everything on this planet is always trying to kill us. From all the promos, it looks like Vision goes on Wanda's side for a little bit, and they fight together. I kind of wonder if she is going to try to control him more, and he's not necessarily doing it because he's like, oh, okay, now I think this is ethical and okay. I think it gets to a point where she has to force him into it, and then he breaks free like everyone else and fights her. Everyone's Halloween costumes were adorable. They were comic book accurate. Well, certain eras of comic books, so that was absolutely fabulous. You don't really think how ridiculous certain superhero costumes are until you see them in real life, and it's just the best. Seriously, just the fucking best. But going back to Quicksilver saying, hey, you did this in the most ethical way possible, you kept families together, you had the children stay asleep, but then you brought them out for the cameo episode, but then we see, you know, some people are just completely frozen, and there are people that are stuck doing the same thing over and over again, and they have tears streaming down their face. So regardless of how ethical she tried to do it, it's still just super, 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 super fucked up. And I think maybe some people don't like that Quicksilver is siding with her on this, but you have to realize that both Wanda and Quicksilver have gone back and forth between being the good guys and the bad guys in the comics, so this is kind of a normal route for them to take with Quicksilver. Also, him being a total douche, which if you read the comics, you understand why he's more of a douchey personality. I would be exactly like him if I had his powers and I had to suffer through everything happening at high speed and everyone else looked like they were moving and talking and thinking in slow-mo. It's enough to just drive you up the wall. Not that I've ever experienced that. I'm elderly, so my brain just is a very slow-moving vehicle. If you didn't listen to or you didn't have the captions on, I really want you to go back and listen to the intro song. It is super dark. At first I was just listening to the intro song and I was like, oh, this is really catchy. And then I went back and I turned on the subtitles because I was just having a really hard time hearing some of the dialogue and understanding it. And wow. Ooh, and also, you guys can let me know, I have never watched a lot of sitcoms. They're just not my thing. I like sci-fi fantasy sort of stuff. So if it's like a Malcolm in the Middle and stuff, it's not interesting to me. But I loved when Billy was talking to the camera, and then Pietro looked over at him like, what are you doing? Was that normal in sitcoms? Like, a character was talking to the camera and other people would be looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? So I don't know if that was like homage to a certain sitcom. If it is, please let me know in the comment section down below. Some end thoughts, since I don't script out these videos, I just react after I watch the episodes because I wanted to YOLO the Disney Plus live-action MCU shows. It makes my skin crawl every time one of the residents say something to Wanda like, what would you like me to do? How can I fix this for you? Do you want me to redo it? It's just, ugh. My predictions for the next episode, warning, there are spoilers from the promo that I'm going to be talking about, so if you don't want to know anything they've shown in the promo, probably stop watching, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching as far as you did. I know I'm a boring, rambling, elderly woman, and I appreciate you on such a deep level for tolerating me this long. You're special, and I love you, but not in a weird way. Oh wait, yeah, it would be in a weird way, wouldn't it? So from promos, we see that S.W.O.R.D. is going to try to do what they can to breach the Hex, including missiles, bombs, and such, and I gotta think that they are going to break through it maybe next episode, and it's going to cause that cosmic radiation to spill out, and we're getting closer to altering the DNA of humans on the planet and creating mutants, and I am going to lose my shit. Also, it does look like Wanda starts to lose control, and we go back to black and white, and her and Vision are fighting in some of the promos, and it's definitely clips, footage we haven't seen so far, so something is going to happen, because we saw some promos coming up that Vision is going to say to Wanda, let's fight for our home, which may be because he realizes, shit, if I leave, I'm dead. I will stay dead, so I want to stay in here. But I think eventually his own ethics, his morality wins out, and he ends up fighting Wanda, going dude, this has to stop. This is horrible what we're doing, even if I have to stay dead. I do kind of wonder how Quicksilver said you were freezing the kids and you unfroze them to interact for the cameo episode. Does that stop them from aging, or is she robbing those kids of their childhood? Because if she just freezes them, I mean, it's still messed up, but it's a little bit better than her freezing them, but they're also aging and losing out on that time. Okay, I think that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend. And if you don't have a good weekend, I'm probably right there with you, so let's be besties.